latest chapter in the South Dakota Showdown series goes the way of the Coyotes. 80-64, the final. South Dakota over South Dakota State. Greg Steeman and Jay Elson here courtside at the Dakota Dome, Greg. And lots of energy in the building for this game, as you knew there would be. But on the floor, it was USD that had a little bit more of it.
It did, and I thought I credit them on the defensive end. I thought they really settled in after a fast start by South Dakota State. And credit USD and their experienced players. They got production from a lot of different guys, and that's what it took in order to beat a team like South Dakota State today.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this one. The first half, Jackrabbits, so the team that jumped out early. Jake Biddle and company got out to a 14-5 lead as Brandon Boss and the Coyotes kind of struggling early on the offensive end. He hits a three there. Andre Parks answers for three. There was a lot of perimeter shooting in that first half for both teams.
Yeah, 12 out of 23 made field goals with threes in the first half. But Casper Bauer, that was the beginning of him getting going. They set him up a couple times, and he buried some big threes, got this crowd into the game. But SDSU had Cody Larson, and I'll tell you what, he was a warrior all day.
Yeah, he was battling inside from the start. George Marshall had a couple of big threes in that first half, but they just couldn't keep the Coyotes at bay. Trey Burnett stepping outside. He doesn't do a lot of that, but even he hit one there in the first half. Trey Norris got some space, took it, buries the three, and so the teams combined, it was 12 three-pointers in that first half. But on the scoreboard, it was the Coyotes by 10. They got down 14-5, as we said, and then went on a huge run to close out the first half to open up that 10-point break.
Yeah, and credit them when they came out after half when you thought there might be a lull. They extended it a few times and they were able to play from ahead. South Dakota State made a few runs here and there, but could never get over the hump and never make it a 1 or 2 possession game.
With that in mind, let's take a look at the second half highlights. And it was James Hunter who got the Coyotes going. He says, you said, picked it up right where they left off. And never let the Jacks really get confident in that second half. And part of that was their own issues on the offensive end. Not a lot of shots falling. Tyler Larson didn't have a big day offensively for USD. Just 8 points for the senior. But again, it was other seniors. James Hunter picking it up. Nice second half for him, for the big fella.
Yeah, he was very solid. Biddle, he wouldn't go away. Nice kick out by Cody Larson, but I just think it was too many guys making too many plays. This guy was the one guy for South Dakota State when USD had about 4 or 5 that contributed in a big way.
Larson had 25 and 12. Jacks cut it to as little as 7 at one point, but the Coyotes just would not let them come any closer. Hunter inside. Burnett steps outside, drains his second three of the day. He finishes with 19 points and 13 rebounds. Here's a look at the final stats brought to you by Vermilion Area Chamber and Development Company. An impressive offensive showing for the University of South Dakota.
Really was, and a difficult one for South Dakota State. Credit, I think, USD on the defensive end for the most part. You look at the rebounding numbers, similar, but USD comes away with a few more. And clean game, not many turnovers, but overall, a higher energy USD team comes out with a W.
So with that win, the Coyotes finished the regular season above 500, Greg, and they started this year 0-5. So that's pretty impressive. They're 16-15 overall. They'll go into the Summit League tournament off a win. They finished 9-7 in the regular season in the conference. And remember, they were picked 8th at the start of the season. Meanwhile, for South Dakota State, they will be the #1 seed, but they share the regular season title with North Dakota State.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that's probably doesn't sit well with them, but like I said, they've had a great year, and it's going to take, a few days to get this taste out of their mouth, but they realize it's a new season coming up in Sioux Falls, in a little over a week or about a week, and that's what everybody plays for in the Summit League.
Up next, the Summit League tournament, the final here this afternoon, 80-64, South Dakota beats South Dakota State.